Last night I dreamed a tornado touched down on our street, but it was very narrow. I mean, just at first I thought it might be a dust devil. I walked to the nearest window and looked up into the sky, and yeah, it did extend all the way up into the clouds. But God, it was narrow. I mean, it barely would register as an F1 on the Fujita scale, and my brother noticed it shortly after I did, and we both just watched it. It didn't hit any other homes in the neighborhood. It just kind of danced around in the street. Didn't even damage any parked cars. But I mean, we were watching this thing, but we were at a constant state of readiness to run down into the basement if it did change its trajectory and come toward our house and begin damaging the house. But it never did. We just watched it whirl around in the street for a bit, and I remember saying to my brother, well, this is an interesting life experience. I mean, how many people get to just witness a tornado touching down this close and just get to watch it and not even be worried that they're going to be harmed by it? And yeah, eventually it just dissipated, and I left without Dave, and I just started walking. At some point the sun went down, and I walked into a backyard and up somebody's back porch steps and into their house. And I've been in this house in one previous episode of Last Night I Dreamed, but right now I don't remember which episode that is. I'll have to go through my uploaded videos here. This is the second time I've been in this house. It's a large home. It's a very old home. Latticed windows, brown bricks all along the exterior, and I remember walking into this home. It always looks much larger on the inside than one would imagine it to be just looking at it on the outside. But I walked into this house, and shortly after I walked in, my younger sister and several of her friends also walked in, and I was a little annoyed by this because, you see, whenever I walk into this house in a dream, the nice thing about this place is no one else is ever there. I just have the whole place to myself. I don't know who owns this home. I don't know if it was abandoned. I don't know if these people are on vacation, but whenever I walk into this home, the people who reside there or did reside there, they're never there. It's always just me. But this time, my younger sister and several of her friends walked in just after I did, and again, I was a little annoyed, but I figured, this is a huge house. I'll just hang out in one corner and they can just do their thing in the rest of the place. So I went up to the third floor. Again, it's a big place. And I decided to take a bath. And I was laying in the bath for a little while, and at one point several of my sister's friends walked right into the bathroom while I'm sitting there in the tub, and God, it was embarrassing. I'm pulling the curtain back and I'm thinking, don't you people have any manners? Good Lord. And I eventually got out of the tub, dried off, and I decided to explore the basement of this place. I hadn't been in the basement yet, and the basement was terrifying. It was dark, dank, dilapidated, perfect setting for a murder scene in a horror movie. I think there was only one light bulb down there dangling, and it was, I turned it on and it flickered, and God, this was so weird. I saw a huge bee. It was a bee probably the size of like a ham, and it was the bee didn't have any wings, but it still buzzed. It was a very loud buzz because, again, this bee was huge. It was like the size of a ham, and it was floating. It was floating very slowly, like a little blimp, and I froze because I looked at this and I could tell this wasn't a toy. This wasn't some radio control device. This was just a huge mutated levitating bee. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, if I agitate this thing and it stings me, whew, that stinger is going to be the size of it's going to be like a 10-inch blade on a switchblade knife, you know. That's going to be devastating. I'm not going to be able to take that, so I froze. I just remained completely still. I was trying not to even blink, and I'm just watching this ham-sized bee just float very slowly past me. And it's just making this loud buzzing sound. And then I woke up.